It's a great day to talk hockey on HabsCast.
Yes, it is. I don't know if after an over, I've popped one, Liam, after a lot of wins, popped one after a loss. So after an overtime loss, I guess I got to be consistent, right?
Hey, we got a point. Can't win them all.
Yeah. Well, if you'd have told me going into the game that were they outshot like 41-16 or something like that, and that they'd be going to a shootout with Monty and nets, I would have said you're probably crazy. But and 3 goals in his first 6 shots, and I tweeted something out that here we go again, getting all worked up. And you tweeted you felt sorry for him. I said, oh, feel sorry for what? And then, hey, 30 straight saves, kept him in it, right? I got to give. Yeah. That's the best he's looked all year, obviously, and we need Monty to be playing well, because it's clear that they're going to stick with him. They want 2 good goalies, and contending teams usually do have 2 good goalies. And it's right now, after tonight's game, that's the encouraging part, along with the continued emergence of a fella named Ivan Demidov. Liam, what do you have to say about tonight's game?
Yeah, I would say that I really don't blame Monty on any of those 3. To be honest, one was a 5-on-3. They should be a gimme. They're not quite, but they should be. It was tonight. Montreal's penalty killing is not as strong as it was last year without Dvorak, ironically, who they played against tonight, and Armia. Big difference. And, the goal was scored to 5-on-3 with both guys who would normally be out there defending, as pointed out on the telecast tonight. And
exactly.
what you don't normally see is the guys come back and score another one on the power play while they still got that final minute or so, which they did. It was Zegras, I think, down low there. And again, the first one is a high deflect. I don't really blame goalies too often on deflections, but he more than made up for it. And just a little frustrating on the fourth one, because I would have thought either between him or the D, somebody could have got him a stick.
Oh, I know.
Definitely love to. I'd have to get another look at it. But at the end of the day, down 3-0, 8 minutes in, and you're taking it to OT, especially the way we've played in OT. We got a couple of good looks. So did they. They're a good club. Like, they're definitely one of the best Flyer additions I've seen in a few years. I think Rick Tocchet's a good coach. We all know he left Vancouver under pretty, that was this drama-filled situation that he obviously didn't want anything more to do with. And
right.
Aaron came back home. I mean, he's always, even though he won his cup in Pittsburgh, he's always going to be a Flyer.
Yeah.
And I think he's a good coach, and he's got that team playing pretty well. And I know they had a tough loss there the other night, but they're a good club, and that pace in the third period was insane. So down 3-0, 8 minutes in, you come back. The second period was all skill. I mean, it was all skill. Our skilled guys, like you said, Demidov, unbelievable. Hudson, unbelievable. Caulfield, Suzuki, unbelievable. Kirby Dockwit, too, is so happy. We're all so happy to see that. And Monty making save after save. The only thing I would say, and this has been a problem with me right out of the gate this whole season, is we don't get shots. Tonight, obviously, was one of the worst. But, I mean, we're outshot every game anyway. And we're down in the 2/3 of the way into the pack for shots on goal a game. And so something's got to be changed there. But come back hard now. You got 2 more tough ones. It's going to be a tough month. You got a point, and away we go.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think they didn't play like it. They should have been outshot 41-16. I was a little surprised at the shot count, actually, but they were outplayed. It wasn't one of their better games, but they still picked up a point, and they've got enough offense there that there's enough skill now that in a game like this, when they get outshot like that, to still pick up the point just goes to show, how much of like this team, Liam, 5 years ago being outshot 41-16. There's no way it's going to overtime. No.
No.
It's just not. And they found a way to come back, get those quick ones in the second period, take the lead. And I thought at that point, okay, they're going to cruise now. And again, the lull, and yeah, full marks to Philadelphia. The Michkov versus Demidov, matchup that we were kind of looking forward to going in. Have to give that to Demi tonight. Michkov, other than on the power play where he made a couple plays I found on even strength, wasn't generating a whole lot tonight. I think he's still out of shape. He's got to, he showed up at camp. I had a show earlier today with Bill Meltzer, who's a Philly writer, and he noted, I had heard that Michkov, he got injured in the summer and didn't show up in the best of shape, and that's not going to cut it on a Rick Tocchet team, right? Not showing up at camp in shape. I think Tocchet usually was in pretty good shape, so he wouldn't put up with that. Michkov's been spending extra time on the stationary bike trying to get into shape here, but edge to Demidov tonight. Kapanen in the last couple of games has been a little quiet. I'd like to see more from him. He's been kind of, I think maybe a little lull. And in your rookie season, there's going to be, you're going to hit those spots where you're not overly effective. And I think tonight wasn't one of Kapanen's better games, I'd say. He still made a couple nice plays, but he can be better. Hey, a rookie, and we can't be too hard on him. But yeah, it was. You named all the guys that when Matheson and Dobson got penalties, I'm like, oh, here we go, right? I thought it was interesting that they put Xhekaj out there, Arber, and I thought he did all right. He wasn't to blame for the goal against. He made a couple of nice plays, and I thought they were actually going to kill it off. And then they got one, and then, they didn't have much time left on the 5-on-4, and then they popped another one. And it was, but kudos to the Canadians to come back. You can tell that they've got a good offense, right? And they can strike quickly. And they're not out of games when they're down 3-0 like that, and that's encouraging. So, hey, a point's a point. We'll take it on a night that they were obviously not 100%, and hope that they can pull one off the next game.
Yeah, I thought Arber had another good game. A few little miscues there on the blue line. You gotta find a lane, get pucks deep, but had a good fight, very spirited scrap. I don't think he didn't have much of a chance to. I know he turned down McDermott the other day. They were up 2-0. This one here, he got a 1-goal lead. Delorier's right in his face. We don't know what's said, but they're right out at center ice. No one else around. The guy's got some pride too. I think he's turned down McDermott. He's probably going, well, we're up a goal. It's going to be 5-minute each. Not a huge deal. Me off for 5 minutes. I'm thinking that's what he thought. I think he hung in there. Delorier is right behind Olivier, I think, for number 2 in the NHL. I think that's the second time they fought. He's got Arber both times. Arber got a left or 2 in, but give Delorier a slight edge in the scrap. But Arber is effective. He's in my top 6 all day, even when Guhle's healthy. And I hope that he's a Montreal Canadian for several years to come. So I think he can only gain from the experience of playing under Marty and playing in this group. I think we've seen the signs early on here. They're a very, very close group. They're very young, youngest in the league, as we all know. And he's a big part of that roster. So I was happy with his play tonight for the most part. And yeah, I found that interesting as well. They put him out there on the PK, and it was just tough sledding there tonight, man. That's the penalty killing is going to be a work in progress for the season more than likely. But a lot of positives tonight, few negatives, which are good. They're coachable. that's always good as a coach. I know when I coached kids, it was always good to take a few points of what went wrong in the game, and you'd work on that next practice. So seems simplistic when you were coaching kids compared to the NHL, but it's not really all that different. And and we get ready for New Jersey on Thursday. So down 3-0, 8 minutes in, you get a point, and the second period was just so electric. It was right there for the taking for them to get to, but it's an 82-game season. You're not going to win them all. So I'll take it.
Well,
I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there's been anything that, as far as the, Xhekaj's the sixth defenseman. I mean, I'd have to, respectfully disagree that I think Struble's outplayed him since he's been in. And it's been shown by the amount of ice time he's been getting, Struble had 6 hits tonight. He led the team in hits. I thought he was very good tonight. He has 1 or 2, just like Xhekaj. He's not perfect out there. There's the odd mistake, but I think at this point, at the very least, they'll alternate the two when Guhle's back. Because I think
we had that discussion at the start of the year, and
right, and then you always bring it up, the Xhekaj, and you have to say that he's going to be in the lineup. I'm just saying. Well, no, you just finished saying he's going to be in the lineup. And
no, I didn't say.
I don't know that he will be.
No, Grant. I didn't say he's going to be. I said he's in my top 6. I know he's not in yours. We established that at the start of the season, and Montreal made their choice, and he was in the top 6. And we'll see what happens when Guhle comes back. I agree. I think Struble has probably outplayed him a little bit since Guhle's gone down. But
he's in your top 6.
What happens?
Okay. No, I just I don't, and Struble's in my top 6. I don't know that it,
We've established that.
Yeah. Well, we've definitely established that Xhekaj's in your top 6. That's
and Struble's in your top. Next.
Right. And I don't bring it up. I don't bring it up every show that I'm on. But anyway,
well, he was a topic of conversation because of the fight. So that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say when Guhle comes back, he's in my top 6. But
right.
It doesn't necessarily mean you have to always come back and say Struble's in your top 6, but I guess that's the way these shows are going to go.
Well, no, I just, last show you're on, you talked about, the only player you talked about was Xhekaj for 10 minutes, and tonight,
10 minutes? 10 minutes?
Oh, well, anyway, I know you like Xhekaj, my friend.
Holy fuck.
Let's have a look here. It's, I'm looking at the stats. Demidov, a goal and assist. Derby with 2 goals. Nice to see him get 2. I thought he was pretty strong tonight. What do you think? What did you think, Liam?
I thought he was just a little bit worse than Xhekaj.
Okay, no, that's fair. Well, you can't be worse than Xhekaj. All right, we will move on. Lane Hutson, 2 assists. Laner's looks like he's on his way to another 60 assist season, right? What do we got? Brendan Gallagher an assist. Slav, was nice for him to pick up his second friggin' assist of the year. It's about time. He had one and they took it away from him. Tonight, like I say, Struble had 6 hits. Bolduc with another 3, Evans 3, Newhook 3, lots of hits, but sometimes that means the other team has the puck, right? It's not always a positive sign. It was a night when they didn't keep possession of the puck all night, that's for sure. Suzuki 74% in the face-off dot. That's fantastic. Glad to see him keeping, coming back with his Cappy actually won 3 out of 4, 75. He's now up to about 55% this year on faceoffs, which is always encouraging for a rookie. And Kirby Doc 43%. They keep winning 66% on draws. They've been winning. I don't know what the club percentage is this year, Liam, but of late they've been winning the face-off battle, and I think I really think that that's been a surprise, because I thought that was a real weak point going into the year. And I'd like to see the stats on the year, but I think they might be up over 50% now.
Yeah, they're very. I checked a couple days ago. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't anything. I think the Senators are number 1 or 2. I think, but not positive of that. I can't recall. I checked a couple days ago, but yeah, it did all right. I think on the draws tonight. You got the numbers there. I didn't. I hadn't checked those, but Suzuki's really improved, and he took that one there late, which was interesting when they put them both out there for the 6 seconds, the 4-on-3 between him and Evans. So it was good. Looks good on Nick to get those draws. And Doc, like I said at the start there, that's awesome to get those 2 goals. Great for his confidence, and he even getting a shot in OT. That was great to see, and they nearly had a goal too. So that was an interesting configuration there that Marty went with at the end of OT, rather than just sort of bumping the sort of your top 4 guys that we'd all kind of select. But no, it was good, man. It was good. We got a point. Wouldn't say necessarily we snatched that point from 0, because we did have the lead there in the third. You hate to give that up, but there were enough positives tonight, I think, to outweigh the negatives, despite the fact you didn't get 2 on home ice, and just the start, right? The start was the killer, and that 5-on-3, and they scored at both ends of it. So you just don't see that often. And good on Philly. They played well, man. I thought that pace in the third period, both teams, it's exceptional
Yeah.
game. Would have been really entertaining to watch. You had a good scrap. You had OT, went to a shootout. You had 9 goals, some great saves on both sides, some great chances. Pretty entertaining hockey game, really.
I wonder if Arber, hey, you went with my little bro there. Let's go. Let's you don't fight my little bro unless you fight me first, type thing. Eh? I don't know if that had anything to do with it. That Delorier fought Florian in the exhibition season, and then, I mean, I'll give it to Arber. He'll fight anyone, right? These are the toughest guys in the league, and you have to put him in that top 5 somewhere. I think heavyweight in the league right now, and I mean, it's been a long time since the Canadians had that player, right? That a lot of years they I don't know, they had guys like Prost and that who were never at the top of the league as far as being able to fight. And it's nice to have that. It's nice to have that available for sure. Both him and Struble are good fighters. Strub's have been in a couple this year now, and he seems to have that one-punch knockout there. The Sens don't want to. I think that next time that Struble's in the lineup against the Sens, that there aren't going to be too many guys wanting to drop the gloves with him. That's twice now he's bloodied up members of the Sens, but it's good to have a couple of guys back there that can fight, right?
McDermott would drop the gloves with them, obviously. So, Brady Tkachuk would drop the gloves with them.
But that'd be it. That'd be it.
He beat up a guy that deserved to get beat up, but was quite a bit smaller.
For sure. Struble's not 6'3", or
no.
But I'd like to see him against. I'm not entirely convinced that he wouldn't do okay against a super heavyweight. I think he can really handle himself, and that's anyways, that's a good thing. And we both like our we like both of those guys. Don't get me wrong. I think Xhekaj, it's nice to have that option, and it's a pleasant problem to have. It's
Arber will be a little bit quicker to react. Like, let's say tonight, for example, Hudson got hit in front. Struble just pushes Hathaway. Arber probably would have fought him. That's the difference between the two. Where I think
probably
Arber will still get platooned in there. I don't know how they'll work it when Guhle comes back. Guhle's only back for a few weeks anyway, as we know. Again, so they're both going to get, a good chunk of games in this year.
For sure.
And there's just games where, like Delorier, he wasn't in last game for Philly. He's playing tonight because Montreal's got Arber.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
and I don't know that I'd be dressing McDermott every night too. And but
no, I think that's absolutely hurting. Potentially hurting Ottawa, although they've been better in the last couple of weeks. And it's funny. I was listening to the boys on the radio here this morning, the local team, TSN 1200, and JR made the good point that at the end of the day, you go poll the other 17 players, and they'll say, no, bring them in. We want them in the lineup. Like there's just some things that seem to translate no matter what level of hockey you play. You want to have some toughness in your lineup. Like I said, I only coach kids, but I always made sure I had very tough teams. Any of the hockey that I played, any of the guys that were tough on the team, they were so well thought of and highly thought of and respected and thankful, especially on the road, to be in the lineup. And it's the same, I think, in the NHL. It holds true, man. So McDermott and Delorier, though, playing as little as they do, definitely you got to watch when you insert them in. Arber can play a little bit more. Struble, who's not an enforcer like Arber is, but can play physical and can fight, as you say. They can both play more minutes than those guys that are just a pure enforcer type. So, they're effective. They have been. I mean, Habs had their best start since 2021. So that doesn't get derailed much by that loss tonight. The two things, the goals against is higher than we'd like, and Monty has to bear some responsibility on that. Tonight was his best game, and still they allow 4 and they lose in a shutout. And number 2, they got to get shots on net, man. You have to put more rubber on the net. At the end of the day, you've got to get more rubber on the net. And it's tonight I didn't find that they on the forecheck, I'm not sure, Grant, if you saw it like that, but I felt that their retrieval was nowhere near as efficient. It got, certainly the second period, a lot of things worked, right? They got it going, Doc, and then they score in the power play right away, 3-2. Next thing you know, it's a Davidoff, Hudson. So, it's that pure talent. These guys are so young. And if you're a Hab fan, as we are, we have got so much excitement to look forward to. I mean, you just can't wait for the next game. So it's a loss tonight, but it's a point and things to that a coach can work on.
Who's in nets against Jersey?
Hey, you got to go Dobie now. I mean, you've Monty held face there, and that he allowed him to fight back and tie it. But at the end of the day, you gave him a couple of starts. Plus, you're going on the road. You got to go Dobie 6-0. Throw him in and see what happens. I think unless he really craps the bed, then we'll see. Then you got Utah, who are a hell in a cell this year, man. They are. It's funny. Things change.
Bear's got him rolling.
Yeah, he does. He does.
I love Bear. He's a great guy. I'm happy for him that he's finally got a good team in front of him because he's a great coach. I thought that he was. I called for him. I wanted him to be the coach to replace. I don't know if it was Claude or Terry, and I forget, but unfortunately, they didn't at the time. But hey, got Marty, and Marty's doing a great job. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Liam. I think you got to go with Dobie. I'd be interested in knowing what his road record is. I know what he went into Florida last year, his first 2 starts, and was fantastic. Won the games, and obviously hasn't lost a game on the road yet this year too. He seems to step up in the big road games. So yeah, I think, and the thinking was, I hope going into this was, well, Dobie's going better now, but we want to get Monty going. He got the win last game. Let's give him the quote unquote easier matchup and put Dovish in in the tougher game against the team that they're battling for first place with, right at the top of the standings. So
yeah,
I hope that's how it goes. Listen, I've got you don't have too much more time. I just wanted to show you a little something here.
Oh yeah. I forgot all about that. Hey, you plugged we're having an announcement 25 minutes in. We haven't said anything about it.
Yeah, well, why am I showing Yvan Cournoyer tying the game in Game 8 against the Soviets, Liam?
Yeah. Well, we're going to have Yvan as a guest on an upcoming edition of the Montreal Forum. Very pleased to say. And we'll be taping that soon. And you'll be posting it up, Grant. I don't know if we should be saying exactly when you're going to do that, but should we?
Well, tomorrow at supper time.
There you go. Okay. So yeah, I'm taping the interview with Yvan tomorrow morning, and if everything goes well, we'll have it for everybody tomorrow night. What, 6 o'clock Eastern?
Yeah, I'll get it up at 6 tomorrow night, and we'll plug it. We'll plug it a bit. I'm going to put something up on Twitter. If you got any questions, we'll welcome your input, and we might get a couple in for Yvan there and ask him from people that support the show and support you. You're doing a great job with the Montreal Forum, and I mean, you got Carbo, you got Big Bird, right? Now you got Yvan. I mean, what a trifecta! That's fantastic, and I'm glad.
It's a good.
I'm really glad that you managed to finagle him. He doesn't do a lot of podcast interviews, does he?
Well, he's 81, and he's going to be 82 on the 22nd of this month, and I think he's slowing down. I don't talk to him as often as I used to, but we've had a couple of good phone conversations here the last few days while we've been trying to, last couple of weeks, actually, as you know, Grant tried to get him a couple of weeks ago, but they had some contractors at the house for some different things, and he wanted to hold off. So, but I was just discussing with Wendy earlier tonight. It's actually 40 years ago that I met him, almost right around this time of year. So it was fall, like just a little bit before this time of year. It was like early fall, 1985, when he came in with Les Anciens Canadiens. They're the Montreal Canadian old timers, and Lafleur was playing, and because he had retired, and he went right into the alumni. You can believe it. He looked like $1 million. I interviewed him that night too, but I interviewed Yvan. I was working for, I did the gig for, it was it McLean Hunter, Cable 22 at the time, I think out of Ottawa. I think it was McLean Hunter. That's 40 years ago. And I interviewed Yvan. We're just 10 seconds to air. This is on camera. And he says, "Oh, by the way, me and the wife, we really enjoy watching you on TV." I went, "What?" It's my favorite player of all time.
Yeah.
We're 10 seconds there. He drops this little bomb on me. I said, "What are you talking about?" "Oh, we see you on Dick Irvin's show all the time." When I started to do Dick's hockey magazines pretty regularly in 84. So like the year before, I'd done like 3 or 4 of them. He says him and his wife watch me all the time. They thought I was great. I almost passed out. Then I had to interview him. And within a couple of years, I tell people the story, man. He came back. He 87, Team Canada 72, Eastern Canada, played 3 games against the Soviet team from 72. Do you remember this?
Vaguely.
Because they played a game in Ottawa. They played in Montreal, they played in Ottawa, and they played in Toronto. Check this out, Grant. All 3 games ended 6-5. All 3.
Oh,
Canada
no.
won all 3. Same score as the game. You can't make this stuff up. The game in Ottawa, Brad Park and Vasiliev almost went at it. Cournoyer was first star of the game. He was absolutely flying. This is 1987. Cournoyer retired. 79, with the bad back. He's out there skating like it's 72. He should have got the first star in Montreal. I was at that game too. But the one in Montreal or in Ottawa, I worked, and I was right down in the dressing room, and I got a great picture with him and a great picture with Pete Mahovlich. And then after that, I started going to Montreal so much, and he had the restaurant going, Chez Douze, and I went every single solitary time I went to Montreal. I went in there and saw him, and we just became really good friends. So very thrilled to be bringing him to HabsCast and the Montreal Forum. And if everything goes well, we'll get the taping done tomorrow, and you'll get her up tomorrow night. And like you said, you'll post. If people want to put up some questions, and I'll peruse them and see if there's a couple of decent ones. We'll grab them, but I'll have a few prepared for him, and we'll have a great chat with a guy who's become a really dear friend of mine, despite being my favorite player of all time. I now can consider him a great friend, him and his wife, Evelyn. It's a real treat and an honor for me, believe me.
Yeah. Well, Conn Smythe Trophy winner, 72-73. That was one hell of a playoff, eh? 15 goals in 17 games, Liam.
He had a couple of years there, between 71 and 74. He just wasn't scoring 50, like the Flower, Rick Martin, with Buffalo, and there were some guys like even in Detroit, right? You had Danny Grant, Mickey Redmond. Like Yvan didn't get there, but he did some pretty amazing things in the game, and he was a great scorer. Like he really was. 47 was his most, but that Conn Smythe in 73, he obviously deserved it. 15 goals, 10 assists. They beat Chicago in 6 games in the final, but he was unbelievable. He was unbelievable in that stretch when he was in his prime. And it's his compete level. And he ends up taking the C from Henri Richard. And his last 4 seasons, he wins 4 Stanley Cups. And he's only 2 guys in NHL history, not Montreal Canadian history, but NHL history, to win the Stanley Cup every year they were a captain. And Yvan Cournoyer and Rocket Richard. They're the only 2 guys. So it's pretty unique accomplishment there in his career, but automatic Hall of Famer, obviously. But you just showed the highlight of 72, tying the game, and he played so well in 70. We'll be discussing 72 tomorrow.
Yeah, I bet, eh? Well, Espo, Cournoyer, and Henderson were they were the best players, I thought, in 72, and and really, I mean that line with Ellis and Clark and Henderson was great, and Espo and Cournoyer played together, which was kind of funny, but they meshed, they clicked, and that's to be expected. They were 2 of the best players in the world at that time, right? 72, but Cournoyer I thought was outstanding in that series, and that was so thrilling when he tied the game there. That I was almost as happy when Cournoyer tied it as when Henderson won it. I was just kind of in shock when I thought it was going to be a tie series, and obviously they weren't going to overtime, right?
No, they weren't going overtime, and we didn't know anything that had happened. That they had sent Aggie Klukowicz, the translator, to the Canadian bench to say that if it ends in a tie, the Soviets are declaring victory because they had scored more goals in the 8 games, and that reverberated onto the bench just in the dying minutes there. And when you see them have that huddle just to Dryden's left, the final face-off before the goal, and of course Esposito leading the charge as he always did, said that he said 2 things. He said, "I'm not leaving the ice, and we're scoring." And, uniform, man. He was amazing. The whole series was amazing. And you got to remember, we lost Wayne Cashman in Sweden in Game 2 because he had played pretty solid, and now he's a left winger. Cournoyer's right, so it wouldn't have affected that in the line per se. But, everybody had to bump up one. It was a big loss, and it doesn't get talked about. But, Wayne had his tongue split by Ulf Sterner there with a stick in that. It was a vicious second game against Sweden. And and penalty-filled affair and all sorts of really, really dirty play. And Sterner speared him right in the mouth, and so he was unable to play any of the games in Moscow. But yeah, we'll have Yvan on, and hope we'll keep going from there. I mean, as I said last Montreal Forum, it's not going to be an interview show. It's not ever what I intended it to be anyway. So, but I'll get some interviews and occasionally, and we'll have some guys on. And other than that, I'll be just offering my my recaps. I'm not gonna, you've got so many guys to pick from to do the lives, Grant. So many great guys in HabsCast. So, it's I'll just pop on here occasionally, but I'll be doing most of my recaps there in the Montreal forums and tee ups and what have you. And when I can get a guest, we'll squeeze one out. And what a beauty we got tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's great, Liam. Yeah. Please come back for these post games more often, and I love having you on, and I really look forward to producing that one. That's going to be a thrill. I'm going to pop my head on at the start there and say hello to Yvan. I've never met him, so it'll be my introduction to him, and it'll be a thrill for me. So I couldn't be happier. And I think you got to get going there, do you?
I do, yeah.
Okay, well, you've had a long day. I hope the dog's resting.
Oh yeah, you should see him right now. You see this thing right now, you'd never know he was a Tasmanian devil here all day.
Well, it sounds like he has good reason to be a little tired from what I hear, what he was up to earlier. Okay. Thanks, Liam, and we'll see you.
It's absolutely classic, but another time.
We'll see you.
I'll talk to you in the morning, Grant.
About 10 to 10.
10 to 10, man, and we'll get on with the Roadrunner.
Okay. Bye, Liam.
All right,
take care.
Good night.
Liam Maguire, ladies and gentlemen, loves his Arber Xhekaj. Hey, Liam's he's always Liam's always been he likes the tough guys, and hey, we're from that era, right? Yeah, I wanted to mention that, and I've noticed a couple of people talking about it here. That penalty on Caulfield, I don't know. At the end of the game, that Rank, the Edmonton debacle there, Caulfield really tuned him out, right? And I just wonder if that wasn't weighing in his mind, and was just waiting for anything even close to a penalty from Caulfield, and then making that call. What, Caulfield got 2 minutes for roughing, like, really, or whatever, big bad Caulfield being too strong for a guy. I don't know. That was chintzy, and I think hey, referees are human too, right? And unfortunately, that one I wondered about quite a bit. Let's get to a few questions here. It was a boarding call. Okay, well, whatever. End of the day, Monty should never have been given the back-to-back start. Well, I was shocked, to be honest with you. I don't know if you saw the show, the earlier show today. I was, I had quite a look on my face there. I was not too pleased, put it that way. Henry P. has to play like it's exhibition hockey. Well, it wasn't a great game tonight, that's for sure. Greg G. Zegras is cheat code in the shootout. Yeah. Sheldon, Flyers under talk will be a solid team. I think so. I earlier today I had the show, and I showed some Flyers writer, a pseudo writer, saying that trying to sabotage Michkov. I mean, they just want to win. And Michkov's not playing that well. He was basically invisible tonight, I thought, for the most part. I still get a Nail Yakupov vibe from him. I don't know. I don't know that he's going to be the star that all of these Flyer fans seem to think. We'll see. We'll see. I think it might be a little. He might be a little disappointing at the end of the day. Eric, I've been saying that for 2 years. I like Xhekaj except when he's in the defensive end. Yeah, I don't know. You know, Liam loves his tough guys, and I get it. And but at this point, Struble, I think, is the better defenseman, and you got to play the guy that's a better defender, I think. But interesting that they didn't go with Struble when it was 5-on-3. They put Xhekaj out there. I think maybe Struble had just been on, and that might have had something to do with it. But it was a little bit telling, I thought, that that Arber got the nod at that point. Yeah, well, Tocchet's a good coach. I read something earlier today. It sounds like they still want Monty to be, Marty kind of hinting or saying that they want Monty to be the starter. And I don't know. When your other guy's 6-0, do you want to be saying that? Like, I don't know. It just seems odd to me that they're still, I mean, at this point, it's got to be, at the very least, it's got to be a 50-50 thing. Till Dobis cools off, I would be giving him the majority of the starts. I would have started him tonight, and if he won, I would have started him Tuesday. It's not like they're playing every night here, but 2 in a row for Monty, which I don't understand. But anyway, it is what it is. No one ever is blaming Monty for these deflected goals, but he never seems to stop them ever. Like this year, I don't know what the percentage is of stops on deflected pucks, but it can't be very high. He's let in so many, and that tells me that he's not being big in the net, not covering, not coming out enough, not positioned properly all the time. Like there's a lot of deflected pucks hit Dobish, right? And for whatever reasons this year with Monty, they're not. You can say they're fluky and not blame him for them, but he's not playing as well as Dobish, and I really hope that Doby's in next game, and that's been the thinking, that they wanted to give what was perceived to be the more difficult game to him. Yeah. Devin talking about when you see Garrett Rank, Montreal would have to kill 5 power plays minimum. Yeah, that rings pretty true. Eric, he can't defend, and this team struggles to defend as a whole. I hope he sits when Guhle is back. Flyers players playing the puck without a helmet right in front of the ref, call nothing. I don't know, Hathaway, what the deal was with him. Dobson gave one guy a cross check, and they were already down a man. He gets canned. Hathaway goes in the corner, 4 cross checks, 5 cross checks, no penalty. Helmet falls off, plays the puck 4 times, no penalty. Goes to the front of the net, punches Hudson in the head, no penalty. Does the same thing, cross checks Slav 2 or 3 times, and they give them each a penalty. I don't know what, I said after the second period, I tweeted out that Hathaway should be, they should get seamstress in there and stitch Hathaway on the back of all their sweaters, go out to the third period, so that they can just run rampant and not get any calls. It was ridiculous. But anyway, can't blame that on the refs. When you get outshot 40-something to 16, kudos to the Flyers for playing a hell of a game, really. Like the fan base, Xhekaj is in the top 6 all day long, even if Guhle's healthy. Think I'd rather hear Arber Maguire who knows hockey. Well, yeah, it's where Liam and I have a disagreement on that one. I wish he'd stop harping on it, but hey, he loves Arber, he loves the tough guys, and that's always going to be Liam. And I respect the hell. He's a give me Liam over Pierre Maguire every day, all day, as far as his hockey acumen. I'm sorry, Liam's. Yeah, you can did you never not disagree with a point by Pierre Maguire? Yes. So just because you disagree with one thing about Liam, that doesn't. It's just one thing. He likes his tough guys, and I respect him for that. I don't agree with him, but I respect him for it. Struble was solid. Yeah, I agree, Sheldon. Pierre Gingras, the call on Dobson to give a fine 3 was a blatant attempt to turn on momentum. Yeah. All right, let's stop complaining about the rest. We've, again, got a point when you're outshot 40-something. I'll take it. Yeah. Look at the face-off percentages. Cappy just keeps going up with the draws numbers. Again, I didn't think he had a great game, but yeah, he can definitely play. He can play better, but I do like that he is improving his face-offs. They just keep improving. Yeah, they did. Pierre, the Habs did play a very lousy game. Okay, Sheldon, granted, it was only 8 minutes. What's that? I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Sorry, Sheldon. Okay, well, most people are agreeing with me on Strubes, but that's fine. Hudson now up to 13 points in 13 games. Got him in the pool. He's keeping me in there. Devin saying that Matheson is a horse. Yeah, he is. Let's have a quick look at these stats again. 27-51 again for Matheson. He has been playing so well. He's just he's really playing well. I liked his game big time. 11:51 for Guhle. 11:15 for Veleno. 10:38 for Xhekaj. 13:16 Kapanen. Struble with 15:03. So they keep playing him a little more, and we'll see how things progress. But he has been getting more ice time than Arber, so that tells me that right now, when Guhle comes back, that they'll probably lean towards Jaden, and maybe for the teams that have the tough guy, so-called tough guy, maybe they dress Arber for those games. Slav with another point. It was nice to see him pick up. That was a nice tip that he made to Demidov on that goal. I thought he made a really nice play there. Good to see him pick up another assist. Suzuki and Caulfield, they keep getting the big minutes, right? Dobson, Hudson, 22, 23. Seems like it's pretty much the same stat line most nights, Matheson getting 27 plus, Hudson getting 22 to 24. Same with Dobson. Suzuki and Caulfield getting early 20, low 20s. Slav getting close to that too. Where's Slav? 1929. So yeah, pretty pretty much the standard of late. We'll give you. I'm not going to go too much longer here, folks. Long day. I did a 1.5 earlier. If you have any questions for Yvan, you can, grant at HabsCast.ca if you're not on Twitter, or I'm going to do a promo clip from Liam's chat there and put it up, and Yvan, and have him, and I'll put up a something on Twitter, and you can ask some questions in the thread, and maybe Liam can get to a couple of them if he's got time. I don't think Yvan can stay on for too long. Like you said, he's like 82. Once again, saying that Liam looks like Larry Robinson. I don't think so. Paul Antoniadis, 14th, 50.5. Thank you. 50.5%. Not sure what that means, but is that face-off percentage? It's above 500, or 50%. I mean, if that's the case, was not expecting that going into the year with a rookie and Doc playing center. Those said the Olympic team is not returning his emails. Maybe at 10-1 they will. Yeah, really, eh? Yeah, that was just, I think he's being funny. Anyone know what Yvan's teammates call him? It wasn't Roadrunner, I know. Does anyone else? No. Maybe Liam does. Should ask him that when he was here. That maybe that's a question that Liam can ask him. Yeah. Refs have to seriously up their game. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna no more ref questions. Yeah, what his save percentage wasn't doing too well there at one point, was it? I got something here, guys. Just bear with me for a sec if I can find it. I dug this up when here it is here. And this is what, one of the reasons why I hope that he gets supplanted as the starter soon. Look at his save percentage, okay? Junior hockey, like you add up those stats, and basically, you know what his save percentage was in junior, his career, .898. You add up his 4 years in the AHL, add up his save percentage, you know what it's right around? .898. You look at his NHL save percentage, 212 games in, 83 wins, 87 losses, 322 goals against average. Save percentage, .898. So you know what? Monty is not a 900, 90%. He's never been. And we're going back more than a dozen years. He's never been a 900 plus, a 90% save plus goalie ever. So do you win with a save percentage that's always below 90%? No. You need to be at 905 or higher, preferably 910 to 920 or even higher than that. So, one of the many reasons why I hope that Dovish gets a fair shot at being the starter here, and that Marty's not too stubborn with it. I get the being faithful to your number one guy thing, but to me, Monty is not, he's not an upper class starter in the NHL. Maybe, I mean, I'm not a goalie expert. Maybe he'll prove me wrong, but I don't know. I just don't see it. The numbers tell me that he's not. He hasn't ever been. So why is that going to change now? That I don't know. I'm skeptical, but we'll see. I just think Dovish and Fowler have more upside, and I hope that Dovish gets the. They hand it to him because I really think he is the guy. Average goalie, yeah. Grant, would you call up Davidson for the New Jersey game? What, to replace Veleno? Well, is there a spot? Like, what do they have an extra? How many skaters do they have right now? Do they have 22 or 23? What, the extra? They don't have. Yeah, I guess they got an extra spot, right? Yeah. So you don't have to send someone down or anything. Maybe. Yeah, that's a possibility. I'd like to see Davidson get a game in there. That'd be kind of cool. I think. If there's a spot there. They called him Jet. Yeah, well, that's a good name for him. Yvan was deadly quick. Just when he broke at the blue line there, you look for him, give him that pass, and he just burst in off the wing. He was something else. League average 896. That doesn't matter. No, league average Francois includes every backup, right? Includes the guys that are 700 save percentage. So no, league average isn't good enough. You're a contender. Your starter, not your backup, needs to be above 896. Well above it. 898 is not good enough. You got to be above 905. You have to be. And he's not, and he's never been. So league average is irrelevant in this case, Francois. We're talking about a team that wants to contend. No, it's not good enough. And is he at 896 or 898 this year? Like, look at the average. I'll bring it up. Look at his average this year. What today he was 3740, so he'll be he was over 900 save percentage today, but he's 839 this year. So no, not good enough. And I hope Dovish gets the reins here. Quentin Kirk, Grant, I noticed that Mason Marchment's contract expires this year. Do you think he could fill that physical winger role? I know you want going into the playoffs this year. Marchment, Evans, Anderson. Maybe, eh? I guess line A, if he's not there, and it doesn't seem like he's a fit right now. Yeah, they might go after. There's one hole that they got to fill, right? And it could be I don't think Florian maybe is ready. He might be a year away. Davidson's tough as nails, but he's not very big. Yeah, maybe something like that. They could handle getting another big guy. I'd like somebody with some a physical, tough winger to go with those two guys. It wouldn't be a bad plan at all. That's a good question, Quentin. And yeah, I wouldn't be averse to someone like that. Bontoon, glad to see you weigh in. Bontoon, is Guhle injury prone? I don't like the term injury prone, but if you were going to slap it on somebody on the Canadians, it'd be Doc or Guhle. They're certainly, if it's not injury prone, bad luck prone. And John B says teammates called Yvan Jet. Doug Brush was a friend of mine, and I heard it often. Yeah, well, yeah, he. I could get that. Roadrunner's kind of it's cute and it was nice in the papers and media and maybe call him that during hockey games and stuff. But yeah, these nicknames that were given out by just like they don't call Xhekaj sheriff, right? As Marty was saying. Grant, what do we do with our first this year? Well, that depends. It's a little early to be predicting that. First of all, I don't know where they're going to finish. I mean, get back to me at the trade deadline. If the right deal comes along and the first has to be part of it, and they're in contention and it looks like they can get a piece that maybe wins the East for them, then, that's something that you do at the first, right? You trade it. So that's a possibility. I mean, I'm a draft guy, so I don't necessarily like when picks are traded away, but I had no issue with Dobson being traded. That's for sure. For 2 firsts, picking him up for 2 firsts, I had no issue with it, especially at 16, 17. It was, and as it turned out, they ended up getting a guy that I think in Jarofsky could easily, as time has gone on, you could say, hey, he should have been picked 16 or 17. Francois, what's your opinion about Habs' transition game? Well, you just answered the question. I feel defensemen often just dump puck in neutral zones and forwards can't really get it back. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think the defense, for the most part, have played fairly well this year. It's been good and bad, but Canadians on a whole, the defense core has played quite well. And one of the reasons I think is because they're quick at transitioning pucks. They don't necessarily get it maybe to the right spot all the time, but they're good at retrieving, good at closing gaps, getting the puck and getting it out of the zone. Now, is it always creating scoring chances, and could that improve? Sure. But on the whole, I don't honestly, Francois, that's not something that I've kept a close eye on, and maybe next game I'll look at that a little closer and see if what you're saying holds water. That's a good point. Any right hand D we can target. Yeah. Well, we got Dobson, Hudson, and Carrier on the right. I don't know. The right seems to be filled at this point. I don't know that it's an absolute necessity. I realize Hudson, moved to the he's on his wrong side, but he's pretty good. He's pretty good on the right, and they got Reinbacher waiting in the wings. So I don't know that right-hand defense is, complete need. And then, but if you get a right hand, you move Lane back over, and Guhle's back, then you got Hudson, Matheson, Guhle, and then the Xhekaj can't be in the lineup, and Liam wouldn't like that too much. Yeah, both Xhekaj and Struble will be out of the lineup. Yeah, I don't know that right hand D is until Hudson starts to struggle. I mean, he's a right hand D with 13 points and point per game right hand D. Dobson's really good. Carrier's been fantastic. So I don't know that that's a necessity at this point. A left centered be good. I think they got to go. They have to explore that. And Sheldon, we are fine until Reinbacher's ready. Yeah, I think that's probably how I would describe it. Couple more questions here, guys, and I'm pretty pooped, so we'll wrap it up. I'm not trading any first if the player isn't 25, 26. No rental. Yeah. Well, I don't know if it has to be 25, 26. Like, a guy like Bo Horvat in his, he's 30 now, but he's got 5 really good years left. If they're in contention and the East is wide open, someone like Horvat, it's not like he'd be done right away, right? But he's not a rental either, right? So you don't forget, like every 20, there might be guys that are on the trade block that have years left on their contract. It'll depend on whether the Islanders are in the playoff race at that time or not. But someone like, just for instance, someone like Horvat, I would I wouldn't mind including the first if you could get someone like Bo Horvat. Francois, Snake was proposing lately that Habs might target Connor Geeky. Was that why friggin' somebody was asking me about that the other day? I don't know why everyone Snake says this, then no. That's where okay. Because I was asked that yesterday too. And no Geeky for me. It doesn't make any sense. Snake probably thinks, he's better than Kapanen. Well, he's not. He's not better than Kapanen is right now. Not even close. Bryce Pickford doing well. 7 games, 7 points, and 7 goals, 7 assists, I assume that is, in 15 games. Yeah. I like Pickford a lot. He's a dandy. Konyushkov, 3 points today. He's a pretty good right defenseman too. Canadians are pretty well stocked. Yeah. Well, there you go. Probably not go for a rental. You know who wouldn't be a bad pickup, and it wouldn't cost you a hell of a lot if the Flyers are out of the playoff. Dvorak. Tell me what you think of that. Tell me what you think of that name, guys. You could see him there when he went back. Like, teammates love him, right? And it certainly wouldn't upset chemistry if you brought back Dvorak. He's playing solid in Philly. He played really well the second half last year. He's a really good face-off guy. Kills penalties. Dvorak wouldn't be a bad pickup. It wouldn't be that costly. I would explore. I would consider bringing back Dvorak. You know, if at the trade deadline they're looking to move him. Francois, thanks for keep asking the questions here. Somebody is. Have you watched Landon DuPont this year? I only saw his stats and was surprised it was not as good as last year. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? No, I'm not watching prospects as much this year, and especially not watching underage prospects much this year so far. I've been doing this these post game shows. Seems like the Canadians are playing every second night. Haven't been seeing you know, the games are on the weekend and the Habs play on the weekend, so I haven't been seeing a lot of junior games so far. Everett doesn't have too many draft eligible guys, I don't think, not this year. So I haven't been watching them, but I will be seeing them. I mean, hey, his stats were so good last year, right? It's not the end of the world that they're not great so far this year. Maybe they don't quite have the same firepower too, right? Have something to do with it. Well, that's my thought, Sheldon. Move Doc to the wing with Dvorak, right? Dvorak, Doc, and Bolduc. DVD line. Yeah, you could do worse than that. That might not be a bad third line, you know. And like I say, the price wouldn't be as high, obviously, as a Horvat or Crosby. Pittsburgh lost last night. Maybe they're starting the. Geez, I don't know if you watched the game. They were all over Toronto. Second period, it was just swamping them, and I think the boss man, the chief, must have tore a strip off him pretty good. Berube, they came out just all guns a-blazing the third period. Bontoon. Why have the NHL teams been signing top 10 picks to contracts only to force them to the CHL, such as Martin and O'Brien? To me, it makes no sense not to send them to D1. What's D1, Bontoon? Division 1? Like university you're talking about? You know, I don't want to. No, sorry. I don't want every friggin'. You want all the junior guys going to university? No, I think enough of them went. Enough went already, thank you. Oh, I'm glad some of them are staying in. Nothing wrong with, especially at 18 years of age. I don't agree with these guys. Like any, and that goes for freaking McKenna too. Should have stayed in Medicine Hat and won a freaking Memorial Cup this year. I don't agree with that. I'm all friggin' leaving the Canadian to go play in the U.S. My Canadiana streak coming out. I would trade Guhle for a first. Okay. Have to be a friggin' high one for me. Would I trade Guhle for a not too old 2C? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. We've only just seen the friggin' Guhle just scratching the surface, eh? I mean, he could end up being a hell of a defenseman. I don't know yet. I haven't freaking seen enough of him. You know? Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, Bantu, but the CHL isn't all just 16 and 17-year-olds. There's still lots of good hockey there. And you get to the CHL, the WHL playoffs, it's not all 16, 17-year-old teams. The best teams aren't 16 and 17-year-olds. They're pretty good. It's good hockey. We'll agree to disagree on that one. That's fine. Can't all agree on everything, right? Outside of NHL matches, what is your favorite competition to watch? I'm always going to have a soft spot for the World Juniors. I love the World Juniors and the U18s, obviously, because well, as a as a draftnik, right? You gotta you just U18s and World Juniors for me. You can't beat it. I've so many great memories of World Juniors, and Canada is usually pretty good. So I yeah, I would say but I do love the Olympics too when it's best on best. Obviously, there's been a couple of really thrilling moments. Joe Sakic, Crosby. It gave us some. Winning the gold medal at the Olympics, there's something extra special about that too, right? But because the World Juniors every year, and there's a lot more of them, and there's been a lot more memories. Like McTavish batting that puck out and then them going down and winning. Slaney with that overtime goal, the punch up in Piastani, Eberle's comeback goal that I missed because I left early. I left with a minute left, and Eberle scored the goal, and I got into the car and turned on the car, and Canada has tied it. So I went to the bar and watched the overtime and shootout. Yeah. Every time that they replay that on, World Junior greatest moments, and then they have to show that freaking Eberle goal, and I have to be reminded that I missed it. Is Lindstrom a bust? He's been having a rough year in D1. I think he needs time, right? He missed a complete year. It's early. It's still start of November. So I wouldn't I just hold off on that yet. But what I will say is that they should have picked Demidov. They should have picked Demidov instead of Lindstrom. It was no contest for me. I like Lindstrom, big guy, tough, good center, like good speed, drive to the net, can score goals, but not a high hockey sense there. Not a lot of creativity. Doesn't see the ice that well. And I mean, Demidov, right? Like, wow, what a difference. Yeah. And three teams should have picked him well. Yeah, Seneca's not doing too bad either. Don't forget he's a little younger than Demidov. He's putting up good points, bigger. I still don't mind the Seneca pick. I think. Well, I had it Celebrini, Demidov, Seneca were my top three, and if I were to do a redraft today, that would be still how I have it. But yeah, Demidov ahead of Seneca, but I'd still have Seneca top three. And it's funny, how many people thought, I got a lot of flack for liking Seneca that much. I know it was just like when I first ranked Slav first overall ahead of Wright. It was the same kind of deal. I don't know. Give us your thoughts on Michkov tonight, guys. What did you think? I thought he was pretty invisible out there for the most part. You know what? I went back and looked at his stats. When I bring up Wright, and I wonder, there's some similarities there in that they were both phenoms when they were 15 years old, right? Put up stats that like you rarely ever see. 15, 16, 17. They were more physically developed than other players their age, and they dominated. And has Michkov improved? How much has Michkov improved since he was 16 years old? I don't know that there's been a massive improvement in his game, which tells me to a certain degree that, he may have plateaued. And don't get me wrong, he's smart. He's got very good shot. He's going to get points on the power play. He's sneaky, this and that, but as far as him being a playoff difference maker, I mean, I've wondered about it in his draft year. I wonder about it even more now. And there are some similarities to Wright in that other guys caught up, right? Neither is elite skater. Michkov in particular, he's like what one scout told me was that he needed to get quicker in the off season and work on his speed, and kind of the opposite happened. He came a little overweight. So I don't think he's going to have a very good year this year, and they'll have to get him on the straight and narrow and training properly next year in better shape, or you might see he might end up being a disappointment to, overall for a guy that's certainly the hype, right? Like how much did we hear, hey, Canadians screwed up, not taking Michkov instead of Reinbacher? Hold the phone on that one. Let's wait 3 years and see, because I think some people might end up being a little surprised at just how that ends up turning out. But we'll see. It's early. You had predicted Hudson's 60 points last year, and your prediction about Demonov getting 80 looks good so far. I should have bet the house on that one. Yeah, I should bet on these things, eh? I also, what I also predicted last year? That the Canadians would make the playoffs. And I know Liam started out a couple of shows early on that were on saying, nobody thought that the Canadians were making the playoffs last year. And finally, Liam, I kind of did. But then that was before Laine got hurt, right? And then that awful start. And I'm like, no, well, that wasn't but, they weren't that far out when Laine came back, and, the rest was history, right? They surprised everyone. That would have been a real big payoff if you'd bet on the Habs making the playoffs last year at the start of the year. But I'll let you know what my next bold prediction is. Maybe I'll give it to you ahead of time. Do I see McKenna falling out of first over? He's been average on D1. He doesn't stand out and isn't even the second best player on the team. Well, he's in his draft year. Is he supposed to be the best player on a college team? I don't know. Who would be first overall instead? I don't know. McKenna's kind of proved it, you know. But I'm not saying for sure he's going to be number one. I think there are some things he needs to work on. He's not great away from the puck. He's not that big. He needs to get stronger. Needs to compete a little harder. He's pretty dynamic though. And you know what? I think it's not that easy making the transition to D1 at that age. What will tell a tale for him in a lot of ways, I think, is how he looks at the World Juniors, right? And if he puts on the kind of show that I think he might, which wouldn't surprise me at all, he'll likely be going first overall. But if he has, some struggles in college and he doesn't have a good U20 and Verhoff, Verhoff hasn't been a killer in college yet either. Like he's maybe Stenberg, right? We'll see how Stenberg versus McKenna looks in the World Juniors. If Stenberg blows him out, blows him away points wise and stuff, then you might start to see a discussion saying, "Hey, yeah, maybe the Stenberg kid goes first overall." But yeah, I never like to. One thing I do not do this time of year is say, "Well, this guy is consensus number one." Very often, so yeah, I'm not going to say no. There's no way that anybody but McKenna could be first overall because, hey, we remember November with Wright. Everyone was saying, hey, no, there's just no way that anybody else could be number one. And you saw what happened, and that's not the first time. Nolan Patrick, it was same way with him. He was consensus number one. There wasn't anybody going to unseat Nolan Patrick. He had 100 points in his underage year. So you never say never. That's for sure. Okay, guys, I'm beat. Hour and a half. So 3 hours. 3 hours of shows today, and I gotta go. So, gonna do that podcast with Liam and Yvan tomorrow. I have to prep for that. And I have to put this out too on social media. So I better pack it in. Thanks for hanging around, guys. There's only about 5 or 6 years left, so I really appreciate the camaraderie. And have yourselves a good night. And hope that you watch the Cournoyer one. Make sure to like this episode. I know you're all subscribed, but like it, hype it, and if you're on X, retweet my posts when I put up the podcast. Okay, have a good night, gentlemen, and we will see you in a day or two. Bye.